Thank you.
I'll see y'all in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
No justice. Appreciate you. No justice. No justice.
How do we get in contact with the police? And thank you. How do we get in contact with the police chief?
With the chief?
Yeah, because
I'm gonna tell you, when I worked at the police department here at Liberty, I was assistant chief from 2008 to 2013. The phone number 601-8021. That's the only way I know. I don't have Brad's number.
Brad.
Bellapini.
I don't have his.
He works for the sheriff's department in Pike too.
No, ma'am.
He used to.
Okay, he used to.
Oh, so they go around and around. We call that nepotism.
They recycle. Yeah, they hop from police department.
Yeah, we call that
He
nepotism.
ran for sheriff in Pike County.
Right,
Didn't get elected, so
right,
he come to work
I'm
back
from
over.
Pike.
Yeah, because they friends.
Officer, do you mind if I ask you a question before you go? I know we waiting on the
Hold on 1
sheriff.
second. Let me make
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
The sheriff is on his way. So y'all just hold out a few minutes. He said he would come in person and answer some questions that we have. And let's make sure that these first few questions, y'all, are reserved for the family.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
Because it's real important. We want to make sure we make some traction with this investigation. All right? Okay. I'm not even going to ask the first question when his sister and his mother is right here.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Did you
The
know?
building bridges way. That's the building bridges way.
That's right.
Did you know?
God's way, too.
He can't. He can't hear me when.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you know that it is very derogatory to call a black man boy? Did you know that? You did. You said which boy you're talking about?
There's a 10-year-old boy got killed Sunday, and I thought that's who you was talking about.
Oh,
It was 10-year-old.
okay. So
There's a 10-year-old.
you said which one? You said which boy? So it was another little boy too? They was all little boys?
Another little boy got killed in the hurricane, in the
Okay.
tornado.
So you don't call black people boys?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask.
No reason to call a
That's
grown
it.
man boy.
I appreciate you for telling me. Thank you.
Now, do I call small children boys? I do.
I appreciate it.
But A
Understood.
10-year-old boy was killed on a four-wheeler crash, and a 7-year-old boy killed in the tornado.
Okay.
That's what I didn't know if y'all was talking about one of the boys.
Appreciate you.
That's all
Just
I
wanted to be
asked.
sure so I didn't get a bad impression of you.
No ma'am.
All right.
No ma'am.
I gotta go move the car so the bus can work.
Are you gonna ask them to stand up? Oh, okay.
He been doing it the whole time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did the whole thing. So y'all
He the
locked
flash,
yourselves in
baby.
the building?
We gonna let y'all ask y'all questions though. We'll troll them in a second.
That was him sitting on the corner all this time.
That ain't him.
Where's the family?
That's not the sheriff.
Oh, which one of y'all?
She about to talk to him.
Oh, questions. Let me listen.
We are here, building this bridge in Mississippi, with the white family. I'm sure you know them. I do. Okay. So they contacted us because they just got questions, and I'm not going to even ask the questions. This is his sister and his mother.
Fern done left?
Yeah, she's on the way.
And so the questions that they want to ask, I'm going to let them ask you first. And then if they miss something, we have attorneys here. Ms. Fern. Okay. They felt the need to contact us.
That's fine. Some questions I can answer, some I can't.
Okay. Since you're familiar with my mom and Tremaine's case, why is it that we're not able to get a police report?
State MBI has got all that.
The MBI has it.
Mississippi Bureau of Investigations has got a copy, and the FBI at Hattiesburg has got a copy.
Yes, they do.
So
But
can the
because
family get-
can we not get a copy
that-
because they have it?
have y'all got an attorney? Your attorney can get a copy of it.
But
We
people
can't get it right now.
People can represent themselves.
Yes, sir, they
Say
can.
as well.
Right.
Citizens can go into court.
Yes.
I will give you Scott Clark's number. He's over the Bureau of Investigations for the state.
Okay, so it's no longer Herzog, because that's who I was calling. I was calling the special agent in charge, Jimmy Herzog.
He's out of Jackson? Oh, it will be out of Troop M.
Troop M.
But what I think she's asking for is if you all sent the report to them, why can't the family
didn't.
have a copy of that?
No,
the state-
they took it over.
The state come in. As soon as we saw Tremaine in the cell, I called the state immediately, and they come in,
Okay.
and they have done everything.
And
Do you know
it's
the-
been transferred from Herzog's office, because it was in his office, out of Jackson, to the southern region, which has Goddard. However, Goddard is not responding to the calls, but when I contact Herzog's office and spoke with his secretary or whatever, she said, I can email such and such. I said, can you give me this information? Of course they did not, but I got the information. Anyway, I did receive a call finally from someone. He did not say he was from Herzog's office, nor did he call from a number that would be distinctly one of the numbers that's from Mississippi, which was suspicious. So I know that when it comes to the FBI, they will call from different numbers because they can do that. I want to know what you can convey to me as his biological family member, a member of the deceased, a family member of the deceased. What can you convey to me?
All I can tell you is it's under investigation by the state and the FBI.
It is.
I've contacted both of those the morning of, and they handled it all.
They did.
So contact Brookhaven office and
Okay.
get in touch with the guy over MBI out of Troop M.
Troop Imp.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sheriff,
Brookhaven not gonna do nothing. That's hopeless.
Was he arrested by the city or the sheriff?
Both.
For what reason?
And,
For
yeah,
what?
that
What was the
my next
reason?
question.
Because
What
they
was the
needed a reasonable and articulable reason to detain my brother. He was not driving.
Why did they even go
Why
to
did they go
approach
to
him, period?
To approach
What
him
brought
with their
them to him?
Yes, with their tasers out. He was approached with the tasers out. My brother had food in his hand. He was gonna walk to the car because he wanted to eat something, but then he was approached very hostilely.
That part I don't know. 'Cause
So you
I'm
don't
up
know
there.
what brought the
What
police
brought
to
them
him
both?
for them to even interact with him?
Yes, my
that
brother
should
had
be a
no
dis-
warrants or
that should be
anything.
a dispatch record, though, right?
Yes.
If a call came
Yes.
out
Call come in,
to
if-
say.
yeah.
Are they investigating actively?
Wait, let him answer.
So, Sheriff, you saying
Yeah,
that
the
you don't-
state is.
So you saying you don't know why they were even your officers
The
were
town-
called out?
Town of Liberty was there, and then he was hollering for backup, and I believe two of my guys showed up.
Okay, so the town of Liberty initiated. So they would have the dispatch call.
It would be through my office.
Okay.
The
Okay.
dispatch law would be.
So
Okay.
can you tell us then what they were called for? What was the violation? The violation.
It was under my understanding that he had thrown a white powdery substance down at a shop, and they went to investigate it. And that's when
Okay.
it went from there.
But if they went to investigate, would they not go to the shop to investigate instead of coming and accosting my
That
brother
would be
and
a-
drawing down on
yeah.
him? I mean, they came and approached him aggressively from beginning to
And
end.
I
It
hadn't
was
seen
wrong.
I haven't seen the video from the Moose store.
So let me ask you this. So
What kind of
they
sheriff is
arrested him
this?
for littering?
Yes, that's a ticket. That's a ticket. That's a ticket.
It been in.
Right.
It would have been it, and then should have.
so
When my
that's what-
mom went
yeah,
to get him,
that's-
she should have left with my
And
brother.
that's the thing that's kind of confusing because that's what was reported in the newspaper too. And that sounds like littering. And with all this, you know, with all honesty, you know, you probably
Right.
know me too. I'm a former mayor and was over a police department in
Right.
Magnolia for 2 terms. That sounds like littering to me. And I'm trying to figure out how this young brother ended up in the jail
In police
and then
custody,
found up dead. That's the
The
part right
autopsy
there.
should have shown the cause of death.
No, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
even not the
we
all
know.
time. I'm still trying to
We-
get between this gap of littering
Littering.
and
And
ended up in
in
the jail,
jail.
for something he should have got a ticket for.
Right.
And nobody seemed to know how you go from littering with
To-
my officers with
to
a rubber
deceit.
And may I ask a question?
to-
So you never had just to bun your brother out?
No,
Oh
my
my
brother
God.
was deceased. And the fact that nobody called
y'all
my
done
mom
pulled up his
to tell
information to
him
see
he
why
was
he was
deceased.
booked.
I
called.
Miss Bobby
I
White.
hear no apology.
No, my mom called.
I
Well,
hear
Mama
no
called.
apology. I hear
she
no
called,
apology.
but
I hear no
Bobby was just
empathy.
listening to call when Miss
I
White
hear no
called her.
empathy.
But Sheriff, you can see our dilemma,
Oh, I
how
do.
mysterious that
I
is
do.
to go from a littering, a call. Matter of fact, they even need backup for littering.
Right.
And I don't know what happened there to holler for backup.
What time was his death?
I know it was after 7 o'clock.
AM or PM?
AM.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
You said that you called the state as soon as you saw him in the cell, not alive. What did he look like in the cell, not alive?
He was laying there, looked like he was asleep.
So no scratches, no bruises,
I did
no.
not see him, and that'll be a state question.
Well, you confirmed on the phone that he wasn't beaten, so the state had to say that, or the coroner, right?
They said they did not see any evidence of
So
that.
what was the coroner's reason for?
I cannot say
Because of
what.
that.
You can just tell me that it wasn't that y'all beat him.
Ms. Fire
You
get a
can
copy
clear yourself, but
of
not
the
tell us what
autopsy
happened.
From Kim. I think he's tried to call her to release the autopsy.
So all of you all's reports have been sent to MBI.
That is correct.
Oh, child.
Can you also tell me why it took 4 days for my brother to be released from where he was and then finally taken to Crown Labs? Why did it take 4 days?
That I cannot answer.
Can you tell me why my mom was not able to?
Notified, period.
No, not only the notification. Why was she not able to verify that it was my brother? In fact, my brother. Why couldn't she ID him?
That was a state and coroner.
No, they refused. That's wrong.
Let me ask you this, and this kind of gets
That's
down.
bad.
Since allegations that
Time for
law
bruises to
enforcement
heal.
had beating, then
Well, it was
They-
witnesses, they know. And
Time for
you know,
bruises
whether
to heal.
somebody is pushing back and trying to, do something when it comes to witnesses and allude to something else, who knows what happens? People change their stories after family members might get threatened. But I need to know, as this was my brother, he literally drove over 1,300 miles to see my mom on her birthday. How does he end up dead? It makes no sense to me. And listen, they need a reasonable and articulable reason to draw down on my brother. They had no reason for that. Look, my brother knew the law because his sister knew the law, and I quizzed him on it. So I know what he knew, and I knew the questions he was asking when he was approached, because he knew that he had done nothing wrong. He made it in on the first, barely saw my mama for the second, and on the third, he's accosted. By the fourth, he's dead. It makes no sense. Look.
And can I say something that you did forget, what you told me that was very important? You